Reward-based training with Penny. Why I chose it and what I've noticed. People often ask me about reward-based training. To be honest, when I first came across it, I didn't really get it. Targeting, markers, treat pouches. I remember thinking, what's the point of all that? Penny already knew how to be a horse. I wasn't looking for tricks. I just wanted everyday horsemanship to feel less like something being done to Penny and more like something we did together. I'm not a professional trainer. I'm not saying this is the best way. This is simply the path I've chosen with Penny and some of the things I've noticed along the way. It's bigger than treats. When people hear reward-based training, they often picture someone feeding treats every few seconds. And yes, treats can be part of it, but over time I've realised it's much bigger than that. For me, it's become about paying attention to what Penny enjoys, what motivates her, what she finds difficult, what helps her feel confident, and what makes her want to participate. Sometimes that's a food reward. Sometimes it's a scratch. Sometimes it's a break. Sometimes it's simply being listened to. The biggest wins weren't the ones I expected. The biggest changes haven't happened in an arena. They've happened in everyday life. Things like grooming becoming more participative, hoof handling becoming easier, bridling becoming easier, bathing becoming easier, fly spray changing from something that caused a fear response into something Penny can stand quietly for. Loading becoming a calmer process. Worming becoming less stressful. Vet visits becoming easier. Little things. The things that don't always make exciting viewing, but the things that make up everyday life with a horse. And when those things become easier for both of you, they start to matter quite a lot. One of the biggest shifts for me has been thinking about participation. Not complete freedom to do whatever she wants, but looking for opportunities where Penny can have her say. Can she investigate something? Can she take a moment to think? Can she tell me she's not quite ready yet? Can she choose to stay? Can she choose to approach? I find myself becoming more interested in participation than compliance. She's becoming a calmer, active participant in it. Not whether I can make something happen, but whether Penny wants to be involved. Some of my favourite moments now are the moments when Penny chooses to participate. Walking towards the wash box, standing quietly for a bath, accepting fly spray, standing for hoof handling, remaining relaxed while something new is happening. These moments probably don't look very exciting from the outside, but to me, they feel important. She's becoming an active participant in it. So why do I use reward-based training? For me, the biggest benefit isn't the treats and it isn't the targeting. It's what those things can help create. A horse that feels more confident, a horse that feels more involved, a horse that feels able to think instead of simply react. A calm horse with a bright mind. One of the best examples of that happened during Penny's recent vaccination visit. Her heart rate was 40 beats per minute, her respiratory rate was 10 breaths per minute. My vet commented on how relaxed she was. She stood quietly, she participated in the process, and she accepted the vaccinations calmly. I'm not saying reward-based training is the only reason for that, but I do think all those small everyday moments matter. The cooperative care, the opportunities to participate, the moments where Penny's feedback is listened to, the moments where she discovers that everyday horse life doesn't have to be stressful. And that's really why I do it. Not for targeting, not for tricks, not for videos, but because everyday horsemanship becomes easier. The vet, the farrier, the trailer, the fly spray, the bath, the grooming kit, the little things that make up real life with a horse. Over time, I realised the biggest change wasn't the treats and it wasn't the targeting, it was participation. More and more, every day, horsemanship started to feel like something Penny was involved in, rather than something being done to her. And for me, that's probably been the biggest reward of all. That naturally led me to wonder why some of these changes were happening, which is where I started learning a little bit more about how horses learn. One thing I've learned is that horses tend to repeat behaviours that lead to outcomes they value. If a behaviour consistently leads to something good, we're more likely to see that behaviour again. At least in very simple terms, that's the idea behind reward-based training. Not forcing, not bribing, simply helping the horse discover that certain choices can lead to positive outcomes. The more I learned, the more I realised that reward-based training wasn't really about treats, it was about communication. What I'm still learning. The truth is I'm still learning all the time. Sometimes my timing is wrong, sometimes I miss things, sometimes Penny has different ideas, and sometimes she teaches me far more than I teach her. That's one of the reasons I enjoy this journey so much. The learning never really stops. I've always tried to understand what Penny is telling me. Long before reward-based training, I was interested in her behaviour, her preferences, and what she might be trying to communicate. What feels different now isn't that I've started listening, it's that Penny seems to have more to say. She offers more opinions, more participation, more curiosity, more feedback. Not because she's becoming difficult, not because she's taking over, but because she seems more confident that it's worth communicating. And some of my favourite moments now aren't the things I've taught Penny, they're the things Penny has taught me. I'm not saying this is the right path for everyone, it's simply the path we've chosen. And along the way, I've discovered that when a horse feels able to communicate more, there's a lot more to listen to. For me, that's been one of the most rewarding parts of the journey. Thank you for watching. Just a horse listener.